like this.
This video is my top 10 tips for growing healthy hair. I was going to call it my top 10 tips for growing long hair, but my hair isn't as long as I want it to be yet. So when it's a little bit longer, maybe I'll do an updated version calling it that. But yeah, I'm going to jump straight into my top tips. Tip number 1 would be to educate yourself. When I say educate yourself, I'm referring to the natural hair community in general. So educate yourself on general hair care, on hair care specific to your hair type if you know what your hair type is. Understand the hair typing system even if you don't want to apply it to your hair texture. Understand kind of the different types of being natural there is, because there's those that believe that you shouldn't use anything with any chemicals in it, and others that aren't so strict with it, that just believe they want to embrace their natural texture. So really educate yourself on all of that, and I'll put some links to some blogs and forums below that you can check out if you're kind of newly natural or just kind of trying to rejig your routine basically. My second tip would be to familiarize yourself with your own hair. So really take time to understand how your hair reacts to water, how it reacts to moisture, what oils and creams moisturize your hair the best, and just what works for you, whether finger detangling works for you, whether heat works for you, how much heat you can use, how little heat you should use. All those things will help you in kind of developing the best routine for you and maximizing your hair retention, if that's your goal. My third tip would be to moisturize. This is probably one of the most important, because as someone with curly hair, no matter your ethnicity, if you have curly hair, your strands get drier quicker than those with straight or wavy hair. So water, a good conditioner and a sealant are 3 things that you will need in order to moisturize your hair successfully, in my opinion. Water is kind of the starting point, the building block of moisture. You can't have moisture in your hair without water, because essentially that's what it is. You'll need a conditioner, in my opinion, to kind of help keep that water in, and also to aid it and add further nourishment, add softness, add manageability. You know, depending on what you're after will be depending on what kind of conditioner you use. And also a sealant, which can either be an oil or aloe vera juice. I personally don't use aloe vera juice, it's a bit light for my hair. I prefer using an oil, and what works for me is coconut oil, jojoba oil, castor oil, olive oil. So all those things work for me as a sealant. Sometimes I use them by themselves, sometimes I use them on top of a conditioner, sometimes I just use them after my hair's been damp. So moisturize, that's really important. My next tip is protective styling. Protective styling can be anything from braids to head wraps to just making sure your hair ends are tucked under and out of the way and out of the weather basically. So I usually do braids. I braid my natural hair. I've also put in box braids with extensions. I always do head wraps. I have my hair in a bun a lot. Those are kind of my ways of protecting the ends of my hair, especially in winter. So protective style. My 5th tip would be to avoid heat. If you can completely avoid it for a period of time, like 6 months to a year, that's great, because the benefits of that are tremendous, because heat dries your hair out and it weakens your strands. I could go on, but it basically is not the greatest thing for your hair. When I was in college, I used to straighten my hair every single day and didn't realize the damage it was doing until I wanted to see more of my natural curls and realized the front of my hair, especially where I would touch up daily, basically didn't have its natural texture because I'd fried it so much. So I had to completely grow out that portion of my hair. Oh, and if you're wondering why I keep looking down, I'm reading from a notebook. I wrote down stuff. Where am I? My 6th tip is finger detangling / minimal kind of manipulation. I probably detangle my hair depending, like if I'm having it in a bun for a week, I probably won't detangle my hair for 2 weeks. That sounds crazy, but it works for me. But if I know I'm styling it in different styles regularly, I'll probably detangle it every few days. So all those things have kind of helped that I don't lose a lot of hair and I don't break a lot of hair. Another tip would be to deep condition. This is another one of my favorite tips along with moisturize. They kind of go hand in hand. Deep conditioning is like pampering your hair. It just gives extra nourishment, extra kind of strength if that's what's needed. If you need a protein treatment, it can just be that extra bit of va-va-voom that lifts your hair up and kind of brings it back to life again. Protein treatments, I would say to avoid doing them too regularly. I know for my hair it can't take it, it just needs it every once in a while. I usually do one maybe once or twice a month. But deep conditioning, I probably try and do once every 2 weeks to once a week, depending on the condition of my hair. My 8th tip is to trim and dust your ends, or trim/dust. Dusting your ends is basically when you manually look through each like a strand of your hair and kind of clip off just the ones that look a bit tatty or knotted or split. And then trimming, obviously, you know, is a more thorough kind of cut that will more evenly cut your hair and level it out and whatever. I tend to trim my hair probably once or twice a year maximum, but I do dust my ends probably once or twice every couple of months ish. My 9th tip, which is also really important, is overall health and vitamins. I find that when I'm getting enough sleep, I am eating a balanced diet, I'm drinking loads of water and taking vitamins, my hair and skin and nails just look amazing. And obviously that's common sense, that's something that everyone's brought up knowing, but sometimes we forget or we get too busy. But I can't like stress enough how important those things are. Like, if you're not having a balanced diet, try and introduce some form of supplements, but make sure the supplements are kind of high quality ones, because crappy supplements don't do you any good either. Just try and have a balanced diet. Sleep is really important and water is really important. The more water you drink, the more hydrated your hair and skin is, and the more your hair is more likely to grow at its most efficient rate. Okay, so my 10th and final tip is patience and no stress. A lot of hair gurus kind of reiterate this one over and over again. So when you kind of first decide that you want to embrace your natural hair texture more and maybe not straighten it as much, or maybe not relax it, or whatever it is, decide what your goals are, but don't let those goals be the only focus. Enjoy your hair and be patient with it, because there's been years where literally I thought I was looking after my hair, but it just wasn't growing very fast, and I had to change different things. I had to learn about my hair and learn what was working and what wasn't working, and it can be quite frustrating, but you have to just kind of have this no stress attitude to it, or else you'll be hating on everyone else's hair and getting yourself stressed out in the process. So just enjoy your hair texture, whatever length it's at, and kind of aim for kind of healthy hair rather than length, especially in the initial stages, until you've really figured out what's working for you in terms of your hair care. My 10 tips, I hope you found them useful. If you have any further questions, put them below. If you want me to make any other videos on hair, let me know. Yeah, basically. So I will see you guys all really soon with my next one. Have a wonderful day, night, whatever time that you're watching this is, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.